we speak down, nobody has a right, to describe Mr. Ken Ofori as a criminal. He's not. He's not a criminal. He's a person of interest as far as some investigations are concerned. There are various things which involved him and which the Special Office of Special Prosecution has reason to believe, have been tainted by corruption. And on that basis, that office has a right, in fact a duty, to invite him to assist in investigations. Now he claims that he's not able to avail himself now because of ill health. Now under normal circumstances, ill health is a ground, sufficient ground for not being in the jurisdiction, for not assisting the Office of Special Prosecutor in its investigations. So the matter in issue now is indeed whether he's really ill or not. That's the matter in issue. The Special Prosecutor has dismissed the medical report, or purported medical report that came from the United States of America. So it may well be that he can present a better medical certificate indicate that he's not well. And if he's able to do that, there'll be no reason for him to be declared a wanted person. So that's very clear. Now, I've spoken to some persons who are lawyers and therefore may know the law, who claim that the Special Prosecutor may not have the powers to declare anybody wanted, and that the power to declare persons of interest like Ken Ofori wanted should strictly lie with the courts. I'm not sure. I don't know. Just stating it as a matter of contention. There are those who believe very strongly that the Office of Special Prosecutor may not have the powers to do what he has done. For me, what is interesting is not so much he's being declared a wanted person. What is interesting for me is the so-called raid on his house. And this morning, I've looked at some of the newspapers and I've seen fully armed, persons fully armed and in military uniform, allegedly raiding his house. Now, the Special Prosecutor makes a very serious allegation that this whole episode was staged by Ken Ofori himself or persons who were working for him in order to put the Special Prosecutor in bad light. My goodness, we should be worried.
Worried, yeah. Very, very worried. Yeah.
If former ministers are able to orchestrate these things using 7 security personnel, including the military, what else may they be able to organize? So it's a very serious allegation. It's not an allegation to be taken lightly. Is the Special Prosecutor right? Is what he's saying true? He said that he was not going to provide the evidence and that it may be prejudicial to investigations into the so-called raid. But I'm interested in that. For me, that's more important than Ken Ofori being declared wanted or not wanted. Does Ken Ofori have the power to mobilize security personnel? And I'm told there were about 100 people or so who took part in this exercise. And if he's able to do that, what does that say for our safety and the security of the state? It's a very important matter. Now, if it turns out that the Special Prosecutor was not right, and that Ken Ofori did not organize this raid on his house, who then organized the raid? And on what basis, was this raid organized? Raises all kinds of questions. I'm told that the persons who participated in this raid did not have a bench warrant. And it should be a matter of serious concern for all those who want to uphold the right of citizens. Nobody should be allowed to organize any raid into anybody's house without proper legal authority. You know, I mean, please, let us not reduce Ghana to a banana republic. Ofori Atta may have questions to answer. He may have questions to answer. And I'm not going to dispute that. I'm not going to fight that. If he has questions to answer, he has to answer those questions. But even if he has questions to answer, his rights should not be violated with impunity. He's a citizen of Ghana. Today, it may be Ofori Atta. Tomorrow, it may be Alhaji Inusa, Fuseni, or any other person. The principle must apply across board. It doesn't matter whether the person is NDC or is MPP. The position is that you cannot raid people's houses without bench warrants, properly issued by courts of competent, jurisdiction. And I want that to apply to MPP members, to NDC members, to everybody else. Now, reading through the papers and also listening to radio and watching television, I'm very disturbed by something which is happening around Ora. I mean, and this morning in the Chronicle, it's a very lengthy article, very, very, very lengthy article, authored by Honorable Daniel Dugan. And Honorable Daniel Dugan actually creates the impression that Ora is targeted at MPP members at the Akufo-Addo regime. And I'm worried by these allegations. It may well be true that so far all the material which Ora gathered and which has been handed over to the Attorney General is about persons who served in the Akufo-Addo government. It may be true. Now, if that is true, and anybody has evidence that NDC people too have been engaged in these kinds of malfeasance, bring the evidence to Ora and let Ora refuse it. You understand what I'm saying? Because if there's no evidence that NDC people are involved in such activities or have committed such crimes or are suspected to have committed such crimes, how do you add them? Doesn't make sense just to add NDC people for purpose of equalization. Okay? So those who made this allegation must know that there are some NDC people who have also committed similar crimes or are suspected to have committed similar crimes. And if they know, they should bring the evidence and stop making these allegations. That's the only way the allegations can have substance. Right. So that's all.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Pratt. Next, we are looking at reasons assigned by the Attorney General for discontinuing some high-profile cases. Honorable, again, let me start with you on this subject matter. I'm sure you listened to the press conference held by the Honorable Dominic Ayine in relation to some of the high-profile cases that were discontinued when he assumed office. I think, well, he sought to distinguish between nolle prosequi, withdrawal, and all of those things, and the effect of all of that. And the fact that naturally he is not supposed to assign any reasons or give reasons for the decisions that he's taken, but he was enjoined by the Constitution to exercise that discretion fairly, equitably, reasonably, judiciously. Does it sit well with you? Quite if you want to be very candid with the facts, that looking at all the cases that were being prosecuted by the previous Attorney General, is it the case that it lacked merit, that the AG was unable to produce or adduce evidence to support the cases that it was prosecuted? What is it? Is it that the AG is simply not interested in prosecuting those matters, or those matters were discontinued by reason of some political reasons, and because the NDC is in power, and because most of the cases are also NDC members who were being prosecuted. Respectfully.
So first of all, let's all understand that what Dominic Ayine did yesterday, the Honorable Attorney General and Minister of Justice, did yesterday extended the frontiers of accountability in the exercise of his prosecutorial powers. Because under common law, whether you are entering nulli prosequi under Section 54 of the Criminal Offences and Procedure Act, or Section 59, you are withdrawing the case, you are not obligated to assign reasons. This is, nulli prosequi simply means that the state is no longer interested in prosecuting the case. And the interest could come from mainly that it could be economical. That look, prosecuting this case will put more burden on the state than even what we are trying to recover. It could be in the field of my brother and friend and nephew, Dr. Elvis, the international diplomacy, that prosecuting the case will damage irreparably our democratic relations or our friendly relations with another country. It could be that. And those the states. And you saw Germany, England, when they were investigating the arms deal with Saudi Arabia. It's not that there was no corruption. There was corruption. But they said no. And they didn't need to give reasons. They just said, well, we're not interested. No, we're not interested in, because foreign relations. It could be to protect the accused person, because the state, and I've said that, I was reading Obama's book, says that look, there appears to be an overzealous effort on the part of prosecutors to secure a conviction rather than protect the rights and innocence of the accused person. So, and that's not what prosecutors are supposed to do. They're supposed to hold a balance between the right to be presumed innocent and the facts, the prosecutorial fact, the facts upon which you are building your case. And that you can't force a prosecution when there are no facts supporting it. So there are many grounds that you can do that. You can do that. And in this country, there are cases or case law that points to the fact that when you enter nulli prosequi, you need not give reasons.
Okay.
So giving reasons is an expansion of the frontiers of accountability. My brother. But the larger question is, Mr. Pratt, you have somebody sending, if the state is sending you to court with all the institutional mechanism to investigate cases against a citizen available at the, to the state, it takes almost a decade to scare, you are not scared of a conviction with everything. Including sending, you can send even people. But let me backtrack. It's true that we must treat people equally. On this network, when I made a statement, I was 100 in my house, in Tamale, everywhere, and they were looking for me. They even had to issue a warrant for my arrest. But that statement is lesser in comparison to what Dominic Nutuwul has said. It's lesser. So I refuse to, in fact, until you brought it, I refuse to comment on it, because I just saw that, no. The man should have been picked by now. It's lesser in comparison. And what Vomo said. So coming back to Collins Zaura. You are prosecuting Collins Zaura for causing financial loss to the country. And the state says the financial loss is 200 million. The state has not even discounted the amount of money used to build those houses standing there. How can that be? The state has not even discounted the amount of money paid to the contractor by the MPP Minister for Works and Housing, Atta. 5 million. 5 million. So 200 million. How will you determine that? How will you, I mean, if I go to court and your burden, an accused person, your burden is simply to raise doubts. A reasonable doubt in what they are saying. I mean, so how could you secure a conviction in this matter if it was not political prosecution? Indeed, when the case was being discussed, I can tell you on authority that I thought this was the most stupid case I had ever seen.
Which of them?
The Collins Dowd's case. Collins Dowd inherited the docket from the E.T. Mensah. He inherited the contract from E.T. Mensah, late E.T. Mensah. And when the contract was running into difficulties, he rescaled the agreement, because the contractor was not going to be able to deliver even the houses that he delivered. His problem was rescaling and ensuring that they delivered. And so I said, but why are you sent to court? Asem, you've heard the reasons the Attorney General has given. So it's just because he was targeted. And they said we shouldn't target MPP people. They showed us how to target. Asem, he was at the Bank of Ghana. He extended credit facilities to UT and then UMB. Yeah. And then UMB itself had money. They were paying him back. Yeah. And they had money sitting with the Bank of Ghana. Yes. And then an attorney in the Attorney General's office wrote a memo to the Attorney General drawing his attention to this fact and saying that by the time the case is prosecuted, UMB will not owe a Bank of Ghana any money, so there cannot be financial loss. He ignored it and continued pursuing. Did I speak on Atufosen? When the Attorney General, Governor Dame, was bruised in the fight with Japa, he decided to adopt a face-saving mechanism by filing an appeal against the decision of the High Court, when he knew that he was on his way out of the Attorney General's office. And we never believed. I'm telling you, on this network, I said, in fact, the ambulance matter, Attorney General Godfrey Dame, the Minister of Health, what's his name? The one who left. The one who did the vaccine resistance.
What's his name?
All of them must be held as national security. Many. They brought the shells, just like MPP imported the 307 distance. They brought them in shell form. Even the ambulances Akufo-Addo imported were brought in shell form. Then the company was coming to fit those ambulances. Then NDC lost power, and they were told don't fit the ambulances. And then my brother Kuzupa has the report. They said the birds were shot. They were what kind of thing, and left them to rot, and said they are called for national loss. So it is important for us to understand that these were political cases. The people were being persecuted, and we do not say that they shouldn't hold anybody accountable. But we see that hold them accountable on a set of facts that are convincing to Ghanaians.